Hi, let's talk about ways you can engage actively in really stimulating the your wealth with this Jupiter conjuncting Rahu or your North Node. There's been a lot of information about this, and most of you guys know Rahu or your North Node is a lunar point in the sky, and it's the fastest way for you to achieve material wealth. And right now, with it sitting next to Jupiter, there's this energy of expansion and all things Jupiter in nature. So we're talking about spirituality, higher knowledge, education. We're talking about goals here, wealth of all kinds, including financial prosperity, a lot of these different things. And I feel like a lot of astrologers have put a lot of focus and dedication on sharing with you, like depending on your rising sign, the kind of wealth that you can get with this being in Taurus. Really, essentially, what this means is based on where you have what house you have your Taurus in, it's going to tell you what area of your life you're going to have this expansion and this activation, specifically with Rahu in the fastest way for you to achieve material wealth, and really just connecting with what you're meant to do in this incarnation. But also, I want to talk about how you can actually actively contribute in making this happen, because Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces. Sagittarius is a free will planet because it's a fire sign, and Pisces, being ruled by water, is a very karmic placement. So when you combine this energy together, you're able to really facilitate and help bring in the things that are meant to show up in your life. And I feel like this is something that not enough astrologers are talking about that I think is really important. So when it comes to having Jupiter in Taurus and stuff, even without knowing the house placements, just considering like with Sagittarius, right? Like what are some things that you can actively do, like actively work on that Sagittarius in nature? When it comes to your goals, what are some things that you value? What are some spiritual goals or overall goals you have that you can stabilize? What are some things that you value, and how can you set goals around it to achieve success in a way that's really inspiring? Take this time to see the higher purpose of these things and really like choose the things that make you feel optimistic, and go based off of what inspires you, what really makes a lot of sense to you, because Sagittarius is ruled by a centaur, which is a half human, half horse. So it's got the higher intelligence of a human, and it's got the animalistic instincts of an animal and its innate wisdom. So you want to combine these energies together, and you can take action specifically with Sagittarius. This could also be maybe you're showing up and you're choosing to travel and use your finances and your resources in that way. You're gaining some higher wisdom about your family and your financial resources, things of that nature. But every time you set an intention to do something, and you can use this fiery energy of Sagittarius, you also want to let something go too as you open up for something. And with Jupiter also ruling Pisces, Pisces is about dissolving energy, it's about healing, it's about endings, it's about letting go. What are some things you can simultaneously heal from, let go of, dissolve, that's going to help facilitate this? So this is something that you can kind of take a look at and explore. So for example, in my case, I'm a Cancer rising, so I have the Jupiter Rahu conjunction in my 11th house of financial gains, right? And I have Sagittarius in my 6th house and Pisces in my 9th house. So I can kind of combine this element together and be like, okay, well, I want to achieve financial gains, and there's a connection with online following and friendship. These are sort of the themes with the 11th house, right? And in order to do this, it's like, okay, well, what can I do using my Sagittarius placement, being in my 6th house of my habits? What are some things I could habitually do that's Sagittarian in nature? And being an astrologer, Sagittarius ruling astrologers, in my day-to-day habit, really working on building my business and offering Sagittarius services and insights, things of that nature. Doing this on a regular basis is going to be really beneficial. And also, in order to do this, I can also consider what can I let go of, which is related to my Pisces in my 9th house. So this can be about higher education. Maybe this is like, if there's like some spiritual teachers that I've been like learning from, maybe this is the time to let that go at this point in my life. There can be just different themes. The 9th house and the sun is also related to the father. So what are some healing stuff that I can do in relation to, like, what are some connections, for example, that I've associated success related to my father, that I can like let go of some concepts, some areas that I could heal from, like some lessons that I learned or experiences that I had that I can practice forgiveness around. So this is just an example of what that looks like. I won't personally be going into specifically what it means to have Taurus in every house, because I feel like a lot of astrologers have already done that. If you want to take a look specifically at how it's going to affect you, if you're watching this on my Instagram account, I also have something included with my business collaborator from the founder of Neptunian Sea, Martina. She's created a reel on that, and it has information on like what you can expect to get from this Jupiter Rahu conjunction based on the house that your Taurus is in. So this is something that you can definitely take a look at, and you have some reference, and just follow that same template that I mentioned. Think about where your Sagittarius is, the house that it's in. What are some ways that you can set goals? What are some actions that you can take, seeing things from a higher perspective, things related to Sagittarius and nature, and then also consider where Pisces is. What are some things that you can let go of? What are some things that you can release? This is going to be something that can really help facilitate this energy that we're going to be really feeling that activation till about the middle of June. This is a great way to use this energy, and it's also just a great way to kind of collaborate with that energy, instead of being told like, okay, like, this is what's going to happen, this is what you can expect, which is insightful, but also what can you do? Like your birth chart, I think that it's best to look at it as like a consultant, a collaborator that you are working alongside with. So finding ways to actively participate can be really beneficial. But where you have water signs, where you have Pisces, this is like an area where there's more benefit to allow things to happen. So this is an area where it's like more about trusting rather than really like pushing that energy, unless you have other placements that change that. So working with that element is going to be really beneficial. So I just wanted to take this time to share this insight with you, and to really celebrate this Jupiter Rahu conjunction. I hope that you guys are all feeling it. I hope that you're having a positive experience with this, which actually, that's another thing I wanted to mention. There's been a lot of discussion about how this is really positive, and it makes sense, but depending on the aspects that you have, Jupiter expands, and wherever Taurus is, the energy moves the slowest. Now, there is a lot more of like a refreshing energy because Taurus has been really lit up lately. So even if this is like an area where you might experience more stagnation, this is something where you're able to kind of connect with this energy a little bit more. And so if you have found that like this area is a little bit challenging, it's going to be especially beneficial for you to use your Sagittarius energy and to redirect that, because Jupiter, it really depends on like whether your Sagittarius or your Pisces is strongest. So if you have either sign in like angular houses, the 1st, 7th, 4th, or 10th house, those signs may be stronger and manifest more intensely, but you can still kind of redirect that energy. But this is really to say that if you have found that like Jupiter can be really greedy and Taurus can be really kind of despondent and stuff, and Jupiter also ruling Pisces being the laziest sign, this can be an area where like, maybe you're not experiencing the positive manifestations like everyone's been talking about. And if that's the case, you may be wondering like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, and you might not find information that's really been helpful for you. This is a really good time to use that Sagittarius placement, to use your Pisces placement. And if you are finding that you're not able to really make changes, it's like try not to make so much changes as much as consider what can you let go of. Like it's better to work with yourself rather than against yourself. So if you're not feeling inspired to do something, rather than trying to go against your flow, maybe look at what can I release. Now if you're feeling this like energy and like this stirring and you want to do something with it, then by all means absolutely redirect it. And I'm getting some other ideas here, and I hope that the noise pollution isn't being too disruptive to this video. But I do also want to mention a couple other things. I would also say, if you're going to use this energy to set goals, which I think is a great way to use this energy, because Taurus is an incredibly stabilizing energy as well, and with all of our Mercury retrogrades this year being in in earth signs, this is really valuable. If you want to learn more about that, check out my video where I'm talking about how to have your best 2023, and that video is going to cover that, which if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. But going back to that, if you want to use this energy to set goals, you also want to take a look at your sun placement and use that as well, whether it's based on where your sun is transiting right now, which is right now it's in Gemini, or where your sun is natally in your chart. Using this energy can be really beneficial, because when it comes to goal setting, you want to be successful, you want to be connected to the truth, and you want to illuminate light and awareness on the goals that you're setting, and you want it to be successful, right? Those are all solar qualities. And even though Saturn is a planet that's often associated with consistency, the sun is the planet that's truly about consistency, because it rises every day, it descends every night, and it's highly reliable. It rules Leo, which is a fixed sign. So take a look at your sun placement as well to help you in companionship with your Jupiter placement. Can really be valuable. And if you are going to use this, another layer that you can add is to take a look at your solar return. Now, with your solar return, if you want to know more about it, I do have a video on that you can check out under my What the Fuck series, and it's called What the Fuck is Your Solar Return? But essentially, this is when your sun moves into the exact placement at the exact time of your birth every year. And so with this solar return chart, it can change your placements, and your rising sign can be different every year until your next solar return. And it gives you sort of like a water painting picture of the themes that you're meant to experience in this incarnation, or I'm sorry, for this year. What am I talking about? And so for me, I'm a Sagittarius rising in my solar return this year, even though I'm a Cancer rising. So there's definitely this theme of Jupiter going on here. So you can also take, even if you're not a Jupiter rising in your solar return or your natal chart, if you're interested in setting goals for this year, taking a look at your solar return can also be a really good way to add an extra layer to get some clarity around the best way for you to set your goals. So that's definitely something that you can check out. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks so much for watching, and enjoy this Jupiter-Rahu conjunction. Take care, everyone. Bye.